Hey everybody, today we're going to make homemade ricotta, and the reasons you might want to try making your own homemade ricotta are that first of all, it's wonderful and it tastes so much better than store-bought ricotta. Ricotta cheese in its original form is actually made with whey. You cook the whey down, and so this is not actually true ricotta, but it's similar but even better than the ricotta that you would find in the store. And so besides that, it's going to be free of any preservatives, and it's just going to be more natural. And so the third reason is that you're going to have the whey left over, and you're going to be able to use that in other recipes for lacto-fermentation of vegetables. You could actually use it in smoothies, like if you've heard of whey protein powder, that's really what it is. So you could just add some of that whey liquid into your smoothies. Lots of other things you could do with the whey, and that'll be kind of a byproduct of what we're doing today. So I have 6 cups of milk, just whole milk, that I have heated to a simmer, and then I turned it down, and so I have that already ready. And I'm going to also need some salt, just a little bit of salt. So 6 cups is going to make about 1.5 cups of ricotta cheese, and so you take about 4 cups of milk per 1 cup of ricotta cheese. So you can adjust however you'd like, however much you'd like to make. So I'm going to add 3/4 of a teaspoon, so about 1/2 of a teaspoon for every 4 cups. So let's go ahead and measure out 3/4 of a teaspoon. I'm going to add that in, and then we'll also need some acid of some sort, and that acid could be distilled vinegar. The distilled vinegar tends to maybe create the most just pure ricotta cheese, but I find that lemon juice works really well, and that's what I'm going to use. So you may also need to adjust how much you add, kind of depending on how well and how quickly, how much it curdles. So I'm just going to add about 1 tablespoon to start, and take a spoon and give it a couple little stirs, and then I'm going to allow it to sit. You'll see it almost instantly as you give it a little stir. It's going to instantly start to curdle, and that's good because that's what you want. We want to eventually take the curds away from the whey, and that's what the ricotta cheese is that we're making. So we'll let it sit for a few minutes, and we can prepare while we're waiting we need a container, a bowl, and then some sort of I like a colander. I just use a colander. You could take a cheesecloth and line it. I'm not too particular, and I find that you can do it without, also because I don't care if my ricotta is a little bit more moist. If you want it to be drier, then I would take either a super strong paper towel or a piece of cheesecloth and line that, and that's going to help to drain out that whey. So you're going to be draining the whey out into your container, and you're keeping that nice firm ricotta in your container on top. And so we're going to, again, just let the whey, if you're watching your, when you're doing this on your own ricotta, you're going to see that those curds are just forming really instantly. So we'll get those going and wait about 10 minutes. Okay, so as you monitor your curds and whey, hopefully you're seeing them separate a little bit. If it seems to be stagnating or like not very much is happening, it's okay to maybe add a little bit more vinegar or lemon juice. So anywhere from 1 to 3 tablespoons. I just added just a little bit more to have about 2.5 tablespoons worth. And so it's been sitting here for about 5 minutes. I'm going to let it sit for a few more minutes, not stirring it. I want to keep it undisturbed because we're encouraging the whey and the curds to separate. The more you stir, you're going to encourage them to reincorporate. We want that separation. So let's sit for a few more minutes and have that your container with some sort of straining device, either just a colander or colander lined with cheesecloth, and we're going to get that straining next. Okay, after allowing our curds and whey to sit and rest and start to separate and cool a little bit, we're going to simply pour our curds and whey into our container, our strainer. And then we're going to allow this to sit for even a couple of hours. You can allow it to sit for longer. If the longer that you let it sit and drain and just drip, the more dry, the drier that your ricotta will be. So it's kind of just a matter of your own preference. And I'll probably just check it after about an hour and just see, and then if you want to let it sit for longer, feel free. If not, then once you're ready, you can just you'll just pick your wonderful ricotta up and transfer it to another container, like a glass container, cover it, keep it stored in your refrigerator, and you can already see this whey is ready also to be stored in the refrigerator. And like I said, you can use that for lacto fermentation. Is one of the best things that I love to do with it. And by that I mean you're basically making your own sauerkraut or your own pickles or your own pickle or canned, preserved, pickled garlic or any kind of vegetable. And so I will use that for that whey for that. And so anyway, keep them separate, and again, I just allow them to sit and drip for as long as you like. You can notice that there's a few little particles, a little bit of the cheese that's kind of dripped in. If you don't want any of that, then take some cheesecloth, but I find that it works just fine just to use a colander. So it's kind of up to you how picky you want to be about it. Either way, it's good. And so that's it. It's pretty simple. It takes a little bit of time, but it's really simple and it's so good. It's good just straight or on an omelet or really wonderful in lasagna. But enjoy that homemade, natural, your own, very own ricotta cheese.